Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back in Narvik, beautiful Narvik, and we're flying what is probably one of my favorite planes that I have flown in real life. I have a real soft spot for de Havilland planes, and especially little bush planes. I love the Beaver. The Beaver is probably my favorite flight that I've been on in real life, my favorite plane that I've been on in real life, and my second favorite is the Twin Otter. Really cramped, tiny little cockpit. Like, it's not much for comfort, but it's pretty cool where it allows you to go. Where I did fly it was somewhere that is quite famous where I was a passenger was somewhere that's quite famous in flight simulator circles, and it was to the island of Saba outside of St. Martin. Flight Tampa does a pretty good scenery of Saba, and it's a pretty amazing feeling to fly there for real. You look out, you sit in the back of the, like when I flew there, I made sure I sat pretty close to the cockpit, so I guess my point of view was I think I was in the second row here. My point of view was kind of like this, so I could see outside the cockpit, and you can, when I went into Saba, it was going straight down. You could see the tiny little strip, the postage stamp size strip out the window, and you just think to yourself, this is absolute madness. How can we land here? And then you do. But what was actually even more fun was the takeoff, because you sit and you look out the window as you go, and you're just like looking out the window, and you see like airstrip, and boom, suddenly the airstrip is gone, and you're sort of falling off the cliff at the end of the runway in Saba. Very unique experience. Lots of fun. Saba is also a beautiful place, by the way, so anyone who is into aviation and wants to go somewhere in the Caribbean that has more to offer than just beaches, I think Saba is a fantastic place. It's really is a great destination, not just for aviation. Anyway, we're now in the Wideroe flight up in northern Norway. The weather outside is beautiful. Makes me think that something might be wrong with my active Skynex. No, it's connected. It's not normally beautiful up here, but yeah, we're up in northern Norway. The weather is terrible down in southern Norway, so that's something. They usually are the ones with the bad weather. And we are flying a Wideroe flight. Wideroe is a small Norwegian carrier that flies turboprops. They used to fly Twin Otters. These days they just fly Dash 8s. And they fly in and out of these smaller, a lot of smaller airports in Norway. All of northern Norway has a lot of sort of there's a lot of politics, and part of the politics is maintaining the settlements in places of the country where that's far from civilization in many ways. And as a part of that, they built all these small strips like this one here in Narvik that are, I think, 800 meters long, and this was kind of the workhorse. This was the workhorse that made that policy viable, and it allowed us to fly to all of these tiny strips and get around, even though we were, even though there wasn't really much room to put in a big airport everywhere. So today we are actually doing a little trip of these smaller airports. So let me show you here on the map what I plan to do. The plan is to take off here from Narvik, fold the fjord out to the Evenes VOR. This is where we did a touch and go in the last episode. And I actually just realized there's been an update to the Airports of Norway package, the freeware package, and they just updated Bardufoss, which is where we came from. I kind of wanted to check it out, but I don't think we're going to go back. But they put in more approach lighting coming down the hill and that sort of stuff I talked about in the stream last time. Also, I want to say, like I said incorrectly, obviously, that this is the airport for Hammerfest. It's not, it's the airport for Harstad. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, so we're going to go out here, past Evenes, down to the Odden ADF, and then go out to past Lofoten to Stokmarknes, which is in Wideroe. It's a beautiful little airport, also a little 800-meter airport. And the next stream, which I might just record right after this, will go from here down to Svolvær, which is a paver airport by Aerosoft, and then from Svolvær to Leknes, which is the capital of Lofoten. This here is Lofoten. It's amazing. You just need to Google it and see how absolutely beautiful this place is in real life. And then from Leknes we'll go down to this island called Wideroe, and I think we'll end the stream there. And there's also Rust further down. Maybe we'll go to Rust before we go to Wideroe, but who knows. Rust is very different. These are very different islands. Rust is completely flat, like barely above sea level. It's the mildest place in Norway because it's right in the middle of the Gulf Stream. It never really gets that cold there, actually. But this is extremely mountainous and cliffy and has terrible crosswinds coming in when you come to land, and there's been many accidents here flying in, and an inordinate amount of cancelled flights when they operated planes on this runway, and that was always the Twin Otter by Wideroe. Today they have only helicopter service, and the airport is now shut down and made into a chocolate factory, I think. But sad. I actually think it burned down. Really sad. But anyway, I think that today, the first leg, we're going to go out here to Stokmarknes, which is another one of these small airports, much like this one in Narvik, except it's not going to be rendered in the same amazing quality that Thrustmaster did for Narvik, because it's still just a freeware airport. Okay, anyway, let's get started. I'm not that comfortable flying the Twin Otter, to be honest, in the sim, but I do really like it. It's very fun. One thing that I think is kind of funny about the Twin Otter, it has such good short field performance that sometimes if you don't load it up properly, it almost becomes impossible to land. That's one thing I've noticed. Anyways, it's actually seems fairly easy to start and stuff. If you follow the checklist, it's pretty complicated, but I pretty much don't so much follow the checklist for this. It's just too yeah, I feel like it just goes through a lot of sort of unnecessary steps. I don't think it's that carefully modeled. But anyway, what I like to do is I like to feather the props, because they sort of like to pull away from you when they get going. It's quite important to start the fuel pumps. I always forget which fuel pumps it is that I'm supposed to start. I think it's these two. And then I like to start by the right engine. Which will rise in oil pressure. And once it stabilizes, you add the fuel. Okay, engine 2 started. Put on the generator. Stabilized, and start engine number the left engine. Also I should close the exit. Introduce the fuel. Keep an eye on the props, especially the temperature, the ITT, like these engines will catch fire. Sweet. Turn on the other generator. And turn on the bleeds. Turn on the anti-collision lights. No smoking, that's bell. I make sure to put it on already. Taxi light. I don't need fucking more lights to be. emergency lights. Yeah. Unfeather the props. Yeah, this is where you see I don't fly the aircraft that much. My easy cam settings are a little bit messed up. I am so excited though about the new tool coming from FX packages. The chase plane, it looks absolutely incredible. I am super excited about it. Okay, arm the auto feather. Check the compass here too. Heading 210. Heading, yeah, roughly 210. That seems good. Let's see if we can get this thing to. I really don't. I really do hate the running the. What's it called? The GNS 500. It's just such a pain. So EN, and I think it's ST. Yeah, ENST. No, not ENST. S. It's ENSK. Yes, ENSK Stokmarknes. Activate. Okay. 274 degrees. Not sure if it's this one or that one. CDI is set to GPS, so it should be fine. Okay. The boost pump pressure is always you get the pneumatic low pressure, but that starts to rise as you get some higher RPM on the engines. I think it has to do with basically the amount of bleed air that you get from the engines. But anyway, let's get the weather and then we can be on our way.
Echo November Kilo Airport information. Echo 1350 Zulu weather wind 039er at 10 visibility 10 sky clear temperature 16 dew point 10 QNH 1021 advice on initial contact. You have information. Echo November Kilo Airport information. Echo 1350 Zulu weather wind 039er at 10 visibility 1.
Okay, so the weather's coming in from the north, so we'll be taxiing down there. And we will be departing west.
November Whiskey India X-ray, ready to taxi west departure. Lima November Whiskey India X-ray, taxi 2 and hold short on runway 1 using taxiway Bravo. Contact tower on 121.2 when ready. Taxi 2 and hold short runway 1 using taxiway Bravo. De Havilland Whiskey India X-ray.
Okay, that's it. I think we're good to go. I love the Twin Otter. I just love the way the whole thing looks. It is, to me, one of the coolest looking aircraft ever. I just love its short little stubby wings and the engines on top of it. It's so cool. Kind of like the stubby nose version better though, but it's pretty cool too. Love this guy. Swear to God, I'm not slowing down the throttle, it's just stopping over here. Losing control because I'm focusing on too much on the camera. Another Wideroe flight, that's what they fly in here today, the Q100. Okay, I think it's time to get into this plane and regain control of the taxi. It's not that hard. Okay. Okay, so that's was just me putting my landing lights on.
Tower, Haviland, Lima, November, Whiskey, India, X-ray, ready for departure to the west at runway 1. Haviland, Lima, November, Whiskey, India, X-ray, cleared for takeoff, runway 1, with 044, at 10, departure to the west approved. Fly runway heading to 500, pre-10, proceed on course.
Flaps 10.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 1, maintain runway heading to 500, then proceed on course to Haviland, Whiskey, India, X-ray.
Okay, so flaps 10. Normally you kind of don't even need to do that in the Twin Otter, but it's pretty heavily loaded, so let's see how it goes. It might be a longer takeoff than sometimes. Look at that beautifully animated windsock, by the way. It's pretty damn cool. Just careful to not give it all the throttle I have here. I don't want to push it into the red. I don't want to have an engine fire right after we take off. And we can rotate. Look at that climb. 2,000 feet per second at 90 knots. Oh my god, love this guy. He's so cool. So cool. I got rid of my double bridge. That was Bridges of Norway. It's kind of an add-on made by the same guy who makes Airports of Norway. I mean, his bridge is beautiful, but I do think the Orbx one is better. Look at Narvik. It's such a beautiful add-on. You guys, you have to get, especially if you fly any kind of chopper at all, this is your place, man, because you got this really cool platform up there, and you got all the boats coming in and out. Look at all the boats coming in and out. Pretty cool. Okay, let's make sure that we don't have a disaster here. Okay, I think it's okay for us to go into a little soft left turn, and we can retract the flaps, get some speed. Beautiful weather up here today. It's really special. I just have a direct 2 set in the GPS. I don't want to fly the direct 2. I think I'm going to try and fly the real thing here. So I want to tune the nav 1 to 117.35. And set the CDI to the VLOC. And we'll 11 SVOR. And I think I want to try and climb up to about 7,500 feet. We have to get across some pretty intense mountains, or not intense, they're like this high. We have to get over these mountains, so might as well get our climb on. Actually, I should turn on the terrain. No, there is no terrain in this genus. Yeah, so we're heading to that, so we'll be slightly south of the magenta line. That's okay. We'll engage the yaw damper. You can turn on the auto feather. Let's take the props down a little bit as well. Just make sure everything's in the green. Take good care of our little workhorse. Oh, I am so excited about the chase plane from FSFX packages. It's amazing. Man, do I want to get rid of easy camera, easy dock. To me, it's just such a clunky and horrible sort of piece of software, even though the functionality it offers is so necessary. Look at Narvik, look at that. Look at all those boats. It's so cool. Yeah, I think I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but you guys have to get Narvik. It is a must. You have to. 6,500 feet. It's a pretty good climber, this Twin Otter. Start trimming it out. Actually bring the power back a little bit. A bit more comfortable for our passengers about to their eardrums. It's quite a loud plane. I have to say it's kind of like a tin box with a couple of really powerful turboprop engines on each side. So it's not quite in the plane, the real plane. Okay, that's 7,500. Let's see if we can trim this plane out to stay on the altitude. Okay, that's 7,500 there. As much as possible, I want to try and not use autopilot. I just think it's kind of fun to get to trim the plane and fly it properly by hand. But some of these planes that you buy are really hard to trim, you know. This is kind of one of them. I find it slightly hard to get into a comfortable cruise, but it can be done. I wonder if it's just my trim axis that's just a little too sensitive. If anyone has the big trim wheel, the Cytec trim wheel, and they've been happy with it, feel free to leave me a comment in the comments. But because I'm thinking about getting it. Currently, I'm using the extra axis on the Thrustmaster warthog joystick, and it's like a little wheel that you adjust with your my finger, and I adjust it like millimeters at a time because it's quite sensitive. It's got half a rotation, as far as I understand. The Cytec wheel has like 9 rotations. That's a bit more. That is a bit more. It's a bit more sensitive. come on. I need to level off now. I need to find the next. We're going to 365 Odden. This one. Now my eyes are struggling because now there are two places at each time. Okay, that's that tuned. We will follow this arrow here, the ADF arrow, to the 365 to that ADF station. I bought a new plane today too. I bought the Milbus Baron on sale. I'm kind of excited to try it out, but I wanted to do a proper Wideroe flight here in northern Norway, since that is. These are the planes that used to fly these routes, and I think that's pretty cool to fly them like they used to fly them. I think I'll take the props back just to slightly more, take them back to 75% RPM. So changes easier. Let's find the next VOR frequency too, so we have it set, and the next one is 112.8. 112.8. And we will be looking at a heading of 291. Tuning those radios. Yes, the flightsim will like come off. Not that there's much reason for the passengers to move around in a tiny Twin Otter, but so be it. Put the strobe lights on. Yeah. Let's see what happens to our altitude when we let go. Yes, it changes. Our course. So yeah, since last time I also brightened up my shadows a little bit, just in the shader pack. I made it cast slightly less dark shadows. Not that you see a lot of shadows today, because there's hardly any autogen or clouds around up here, so there's very little shadows. But I actually think it really helped on very dark flights. That said, maybe on days like today it should be more dark. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I think the last one maybe was a little too dark, especially for YouTube. After it was confessed, you couldn't really see much. Look at that though. Look at those mountains out here. Northern Norway really is something special. Close. I can see that first of all because this needle is deflecting a lot, but also I can see this needle starting to move, which is the VOR, and when that needle is centered, we pretty much intercepted the 291 course that we wanted to the next VOR, and that should happen once we cross the ADF. I don't think I'm going to try and chase that ADF because it's, yeah, see it's moving, and this needle is also moving. Whoa, there's a lot of boats on there. 2 ferries and looks like a yacht of some sort. I guess it's also some coastal steamer. Okay, that's our heading. You see the ADF is now moving, and we have intercepted the needle, so let's go towards Stokmarknes. So what you're seeing ahead of you here is what makes, well, there's 2 things that makes this region really special. One of it is the mountains and their proximity to the ocean. It's like basically a mountain chain running through the ocean. It's a beautiful archipelago. And the second thing is that that mountain chain actually protects this huge basin of water. So it's basically the nursery of most of the Atlantic cod. They all spawn up here. So still to this day and before, it's an amazing fishing ground. The economy up here is mainly focused around fishing, especially early in the year when the fish come to spawn. It is so much fishing going on up here. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, these mountains are just beautiful. It's just such a beautiful place. I've just visited once, but it's stunning up here, really stunning. So yeah, stunning in the sim, but the sim doesn't hold a candle to the real version. Why am I getting these stutters? I have no idea, but I get these stutters every now and then. So it's beautiful, it's smooth, nice fast frame rate, and then all of a sudden I'll get some stutters. That's severe stutters too. So there's a lot of boats over up here. Those are probably going into Narvik to pick up some iron ore through Vestfjorden. Let myself climb a bit high here, but I think what I'll do, this is going a lot faster than I kind of expected, is we'll come in for a landing here at Stokmarknes, and we'll do a quick stop, maybe take off some passengers, and then we'll go directly from there to Svolvær, which is the Aerosoft airport. And I think once we land there, we'll switch planes, because I'm kind of dying to try out the Baron 5.5. And that'll be in the next video, I think, but for this video, we'll end in Svolvær with the Twin Otter. Wideroe Twin Otter. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I think we should pull up the charts for Stokmarknes. See, it has an offset, has some offset approaches here. So ENSK, let's go get some charts for ENSK. Let's see what it's actually like. The nice thing about Norway also is that Avinor, which operate all the airports in Norway, have free charts available for all the airports, so you're welcome. Okay, so I guess first we need to get the weather. Let's get the weather.
Echo November Sierra Kilo Airport Information Hotel 1650 Zulu weather wind 030 at 4 visibility 10 sky clear temperature 12 dew point 10 QNH 1020 rise in initial contact Hotel Echo November.
Okay, so the weather's coming in from 30, and let's see, that means we should was the... We'll have a localizer on 09 and 27, so we'll do the localizer on 09, which is the one we were just... Okay, so it's the opposite one, not the offset one. Man, a little sad, that's okay. So what we'll do is we'll cross over the VOR and we'll exit it at 276. We'll go to 13.5 DME, we'll turn around and come back on 089. Okay, that could be doable, and we'll do it at an altitude of 4,000 feet. So let's head back down to 4,000 feet. It's like some Lord of the Rings stuff up here, I can tell you. Stokmarknes is there, I think. Look at this. Okay, so it was 276 was the course that we need to go on. I think I'll just put the heading bug up so we can find our right way, but I'll intercept. I'll put this. I'll warm the heading bug with 276, and then after that we were gonna do coming back on 089. I'm confused. How do I set the DME? Okay. It's operating off of nav 2 here. Yeah, so there we go. That's what we want. Okay, we're not really losing much altitude, are we? So see here the ferries are going all over northern Norway here. So this is Lofoten in here, this magical adventure fairy tale land, and here's Stokmarknes and Wideroe. It's a little less wild but still really beautiful. This is the freeware airport of Norway, version of Stokmarknes. You can see it has like a detailed land class, water masking. I mean that's no bullshit. It's pretty good. It's like I said in my last stream for this, like you have to get Airports of Norway. It's really good. I mean, look at this. Look at how well this sits within the landscape. There's no reason not to have this. And the bridge that they put in, everything. I mean, my textures are still loading, as you can see, but it's pretty nice. Full autogen, custom models, custom textures. It's pretty damn good for being free. Pretty damn good. Okay, 4,400. We're about to cross over the DME, 0 DME, so the VOR, and we'll just make sure we catch the go out on the right heading. Heading bug to our return heading already, just so I have it sort of lined up. Forget it. So 089. Yeah, look at that bridge. traditional model with yeah guys, you gotta go get Airports of Norway. It's above FTX Norway with the antennas, all that sort of stuff, all the installations that you see everywhere. Pretty cool. I don't think we need to go out to a full 13.5, but let's say 6.5. Let's see if we can get down to 2,200 or something, and let's by 6 point. We won't get out to that by 6.5, but we'll get onto it, and once we get down to 2,300, we'll turn around as long as we're outside of 6.5 DME, and we'll intercept the localizer, heading back on a course of 089, and come in for landing. That's it. Let's let them know our intentions are.
Echo November 0 Kilo traffic to Haviland, Lima November Whiskey India X-ray is on downwind runway 9er. Echo November 0 Kilo.
I guess I'm just gonna check for minimums, but I don't really think I'll need them. Minimums of 380. That should be fine. The weather's beautiful today. Propellers can go to full, landing lights will come on, turn the fasten seatbelt light back on. Yeah. There's 3,000. Turn around to there's 2,800. Course 089, and we'll do our turn. Maintain at this altitude until we intercept across our DME limit. So sensitive this throttle, oh my lord. 6.5 miles, 2,800 to 6.5 miles. Miles. Let's need to intercept the localizer. Miles.
Echo November 0 Kilo traffic to Haviland, Lima November
It's fine.
X-ray is on final
Maybe it's
runway 9er
early.
to land. Echo November 0 Kilo.
Okay, that's our localizer. There's no real reason to fly instruments here. It looks like this, but it's easier to practice when you're when the weather's nice, right? So 6.6, 6.5, and we can go start our proper descent here. Usually I sort of aim for a 500 feet per minute descent. Weird thing about the Twin Otter is it's so slow, so I feel like 500 feet per minute is sometimes too fast of a descent rate, because it's gonna take me like 4 minutes to get there, and I just have I don't have enough time to go to keep that slow descent rate. As we get a little closer, we'll maybe bring out a notch of flaps. I don't think we'll need more than one notch of flaps, even though this is pretty short runway. 800 meter runway. Yeah, I guess the approach coming in the other way is offset, because otherwise your glide slope will go right into those mountains. You can probably come down like this and do a last minute turn. There's quite a few airports up here that do that, and they're really fun to fly into. Like, big fan of Sandnessjø. That's one airport that looks amazing. Further south, we'll see it soon enough, and it has an offset ILS. Really fun to sort of fly that approach. You come in, and at the last second you have to make a fairly, I wouldn't call it major, but you have to make some adjustments to not crash into the mountains that are on one side of that are really close to the airport. Beautiful airport. Let's see, there's the antenna that I talked about. Off to our right. Let's see if there's another checkpoint here. So at 1.9 we should be at 700. So we're 1,000 feet to go and 1 mile. So let's burn down. Another sort of fun thing about the Twin Otter, you kind of approach, you go very sort of nose down, especially if you start adding some flaps. They really are effective, those flaps. Maybe I was too slow to add them in this case. So if we can slow this. Try to slip it. We'll add 10 flaps. I can't believe it. I think I might actually overshoot this airport. It's too heavy. I'm not used to having it this heavy. Yeah. I think we'll have to do go around. That's kind of embarrassing in this kind of beautiful weather. Should be very little reason to go around. That's okay. Just do a visual approach next time. It'll be a little easier. Yes, stupid. There's the Hurtigrute that keep going up and down the coast. There's, I think, 14 trips like this that go up and down our coast. Yeah, well, it's like, I meant to do this all along so you could take a closer look at the ground textures. Promise. Totally meant to do this. It's not a mistake. Okay, turn here. So I'm using the course needle to sort of indicate when, what is a 90-degree turn here. I'll try to do 2 90-degree turns. And a second 90-degree turn at this point. Careful not to change altitude too much. I think before we come around, before we turn final now, we'll get fully configured and add at least 2 notches of flaps, so we have more of a chance to slow down. Once we start going down. Pretty much maxed out the capacity of the plane, which is probably why I was having unexpected problems slowing the plane down. I guess that's a lesson to me, and maybe there's more than, I'm sure there's more than, I'm sure others than me also do this, where you just keep flying the same plane with the same load the whole time. And if it's a properly modeled aircraft, it really can change its characteristics once you change the load. So I recommend everybody doing that as much as they can. Change the load of the plane, and you'll have kind of a new aircraft to fly. So cool, so cool. Check out that antenna. Church. The church is also part of one of these Andrew Thompson projects, the guy who does some Airports of Norway. He does also the missing bridges, and he does the churches, the missing churches. FTX Norway comes with a bunch of churches, but they're all sort of from like Viking ages. And they skipped the normal modern day ones, so Andrew Thompson's project adds those back in, which is neat. Okay, so what did I say? We will get configured as we turn final. 1400, and we will announce our base leg. 2 notches of flaps this time. There's our airport. A nice 90-degree turn. Make sure we don't get too slow. Guess we are too low here. Look at the boat coming in. It's probably gonna go under the bridge over there. It's pretty cute. Pretty cool. Okay, and I think we're about ready to turn final. We're a little low. It's too high. The nice thing about the Twin Otter, you can just add power if you have the flaps out. It's not going to speed away from you anymore. And those flaps are pretty ginormous. I'll show you real quick. It's basically the whole wing. And you can bring them all the way down to 40 degrees. So pretty significant impact on your speed and your lift. But if you bring them down fully, you also have to add the power back, or you install. Okay. Okay, there we are. We're on the glide slope now, more or less. Let's add some forward trim. Get some nose down attitude so we can actually keep going down the glide slope. Also add some power. Counterintuitively, we'll do both. Also, the delay on the engines is quite something you have to sort of prepare for. It takes a while for them to spool up and down, so you need to plan as well as you can. So we're coming in over this. I think it's pretty well done, this photo texture for something that's free. It's nicely done. Okay, coming in over the threshold. Power off. And we're down. Fairly smooth actually. I don't think we need to. Just gonna gauge the reversers there, which I did apparently on one engine, but not the other one. I guess I managed to engage one of the reversers because I hesitated. I thought I don't need to engage reversers, which I didn't. But I guess the joystick registered that I was trying on one of the axes, not both. That's gives you that kind of outcome. Okay, landing lights, come on, taxi light, come on. See, here we are. Welcome to Stokmarknes, and another airport from Airports of Norway. As you can see, it's no joke. This is the freeware airport. It's no joke, you guys. It's got photoreal textures. It has the real markings. It has the real models. I mean, this is better than a lot of crappy payware for sure. Okay, let's stop out here. Let's get a bit lighter load on this puppy for our next flight. Beautiful. I mean, I talked about the airports, his ship package before, but how cool is that? It's going under the bridge, in the center of the bridge. It has a wake in the front. It has passengers on the back. It's called Trollfjord. It's got the right name, markings. How cool is that, you guys? That's awesome. Henrik Nielsen is a flight simulator hero. I don't think there can be no disagreement. He is the bee's knees when it comes to freeware. As is Andrew Thompson, who made this airport, and the scenery around it. Also pretty damn good for freeware. This is really good, and it's 101 airports, you guys. It's 101 airports all over Norway that he made in this quality, and he's updated I don't know how many times, probably like 400 times for free, all of it. Ground poly, runway markings, parking spots. It's pretty great. Parking lots. Some lighting. Okay, let's change the weight of this guy. Let's just get rid of a couple of rows of passengers, huh? And let's get rid of that extra cargo. So we went from 12,000 pounds to 10,000 pounds. Sure. call that good enough. Okay. Let's move on, I guess. Put the batteries on. And we will let's put the flight plan in first here. ENSH Svolvær Helle. Okay, activate. Thank you. That's a really short flight actually. This time we'll do the CDI to GPS. And what we will, let's see. Let's feather the props. Let's add the fuel. Throttle back sometime. Parking brake. Always a smart thing to set. Okay, this looks safe enough. Let's start the left engine. Pressure's climbing. We can add the fuel. Okay, cool. Here comes the RPM. Okay, that's a pretty short
Echo November Sierra Kilo traffic Haviland Lima November Whiskey India X-ray is taxiing to runway 9er. Echo November Sierra Kilo.
What we need now is to turn on the lights, the generators, the bleeds. Taxi light I turned on already, and then we unfeather the props and we'll get going to Solva. Turn off the parking brake and we're off. Oh yeah, door. And we're good to go. Takes it down to the end of this 800-meter runway. Kortbanenettet, as it's called in Norwegian, the short field web or infrastructure or whatever. They're heavily subsidized, the flights that go to these airports by the Norwegian government, as I don't think they're financially viable. There's not enough people, like in Stokmarknes, probably just a few thousand people live here. So they're heavily subsidized, and Wideroe has been winning those contracts for the last, many years, since whenever I can remember anyway. like, this is what they do. They fly in and out of these short airstrips. So it's pretty cool with the water mask here over the mud underneath it, the shallow ground. It's not, I mean, people could probably do better, but for free, it's fantastic. You need to do this, it needs to happen, people need to listen to me, this is this is great. I'm not trying to be a despot or anything here, but it is really, really amazing. You have to check it out if you're into flying in Norway. It is something you have to have. Okay, we're ready on runway 9, and we will depart east this time. Lights on. It's not off. Flaps 10. Trim set. So a lot of feather. A lot of feather armor. Like, I can take off now. Just look at it take off. This plane wants to fly. It's so fun to fly. I love how much it loves to fly. Back. I don't think I want to climb as high this time. I'd rather try and go through the fjords, in a sense, which is kind of fun. Let's try and make our way through the terrain. So I guess we could go through this fjord here, which is probably up here. We could work our way through the terrain somehow. Through here, and we'll make our way through. Level off. Around here, and we'll climb somewhere when we get closer to land. Call this the sightseeing flight now. Charge the passengers extra for irresponsible behavior. About FTX Norway is they put in all the tunnels. There's so many tunnels in it. they're kind of modeled decently quite well. No actual holes in the mountain, but it's fun enough. We can see the cars go in and come out the other end. It's neat. Yeah, so I think, and I'm not sure. Let's have a look here. Let's see what we're doing. We're basically going from this down to here, and I think we're coming through this fjord, aren't we? Pretty much going straight there. I think this is the Troll Fjord. Maybe that's where we should have gone, or this is the Troll Fjord. One of the fjords are called the Troll Fjord. It's a pretty special fjord, I guess. The route comes down, and the boats actually have to do a 3-point turn at the end of the fjord because it's so narrow. But that's not what we're doing today. Today we're just cutting across clouds. The Norwegian Army also operates Twin Otter still. They operate the 100 model, the one with the stub nose. And they use it for, I think they use it for like special forces insertions. Not that I'm an expert, but it's kind of cool. Okay, so we made it across. Let's head down towards Solva and figure out how we're gonna do the approach. Solva is around this point here. So it has a totally different runway setup.
Echo for number Sierra Kilo airport information. Kilo 1750 Zulu. What? ENSH charge to ENSH charges. Wench. And we are doing, let's say we do the localizer 01. And the localizer is 1110.5. And yeah. 2500, okay, 1110.5.
1.5, heading of 008. A little bit here. It's told it has an intercept of, well, 1007 at 5. We can do that. I know that's not the intercept, but let's do that. I don't want to go all the way out. There's no need to go there. It's beautiful. That's 299.5. This is Solva. VOR. IDF, I mean. Okay, so there's the airport. Let's backtrack down using the course service set. Backtrack up to this island up here, roughly, and turn around. Okay, let's get ready for landing. The yacht anchor can come out. It completely kills the rudder, doesn't it? Landing lights can come on, and we can bring the propellers back up. 1,700 is where we want to level off. We're at 1 mile. We'll be at 5 before we turn around. Yeah, 5. Flying really poorly, but it's I'm not used to flying this Twin Otter that much, and also keep in mind I'm not used to the. It's all hand flying, but I really do want to get better at this. It's not that great, so yeah, 1,700. We're up to 3. 5 miles seems awfully long. Smarting. There's more boats. So many boats up here. Little transport ship. Down here, by the way, that's tuned into this frequency, and I think CDI is turned into this frequency, so it's a little awkward. This is also turned into the second one, so we can set that to the server just to be doubly sure. Five miles. Okay, let's do a turn. Gain some of the altitude there, as I was talking, but at least that in the turn, I think. Fairly confident of that.
Echo November, Sierra Hotel, traffic, Benevolent, Lima November, Whiskey, India, X-ray, is on base, runway 1. Echo
Home to the same
November,
mistake as last time. We'll add some flaps in the turn. See, so beautiful up here. Out here is a place called Henningsvær. It's got the most amazing fish you'll ever try in your life. It's a really, really cute little place. set the GPS, that's why I wasn't capturing the flight slope or the localizer. I didn't understand that. I was like, why is my localizer telling me that I need to be to the right when I am already to the right? Okay, and now it's at the V-lock to the actual radio. I guess we should be descending at this point. I just feel like it's a little early. It's not. Here's the city of Svolvær, really great city. It's fairly large and it's got a real cosmopolitan atmosphere because they see quite a lot of tourists. It has like this place up north where you can actually get cappuccinos and fancy foods, and it's great. It's a great little place. There's lots of mountain climbing up this mountain behind here. There's a really famous formation called the goat, the Svolvær goat. People, it's kind of like two horns, two like rock horns, and people climb up and jump from one horn to the other. They're about 3 feet or 2 meters or a meter or something apart. But they're very sort of perilous. You should Google it if you're interested in that kind of craziness. Bring in the second onshore flaps here, as we are again getting to be a little high. And I think we'll go forward to that. That's fine.
November, Sierra Hotel, traffic to Haviland, Lima, November, Whiskey, India, X-ray, on final, runway 1, to land, Echo, November, Sierra Hotel.
So this airport actually has a sloping runway. This is the Aerosoft version of Svolvær. I think they've done quite a nice job of it. It has a sloping runway and a really nice SODI integration and beautiful night lighting. Once again, they also model part of the city, and I think this area is also part of the scenery. Beautiful rocks and the coastline looks very authentic. I wish Orbx had done more of that, like get the sort of light rocks close to the ocean. And really, there's a lot of that going on in Norway. A lot of sort of windswept, just completely blank rock along the ocean from all the wind and weather that we see. Okay, I think it's about time we lose some more altitude. It's too late to be high. There's tunnels. You see the road going through the tunnel here. Neat. Very cool. Knots. A little more slow than I'd actually like to be in this kind of situation. See, there's SODI sketching out. Sometimes it does that. I hope it doesn't after we land this time. I use SODI for everything because of the automatic season changes. It changes all the textures on all the buildings and all the models based on the season, which is great. Okay, so now we're a little low. This is why I didn't want to be that slow, because if we're low and we want to flare, then we could stall, which I don't want to do, and this has such a lag on the throttle. I mean, okay though. It's a sloping runway, but it's a fairly sort of benign sloping runway. It's so fun to land on something that actually is a sloping. There's a slope to it. Okay, this time I'll do the reversers on both engines. Totally unnecessary, but whatever, I did it. Come on, stuff up. When you kick it out of reverse, it seems to want to go fast again, which is a bit of a problem. It's okay, it gives me more of a chance to show you how great this airport is, and it gives me a chance to fall through the runway. Strange. You can see the slope of the runway quite well from this position. Very realistic. That that's not realistic. That's why people don't like Soda, I guess. I think it's got a lot of potential, but like, I had to adjust it when they changed from, what was it, 1.2 to 1.3 or something, and suddenly nothing worked, and then not everything was updated. That was a pain. Look at this. This is a pain. That's annoying. Okay, well, we go work down by that Twin Otter. Not the Twin Otter, Dash. That's it. Park the brake, go in. Fuel can go out. Pumps can come off. I scan the generators and all the lights. DC. Okay. And I guess that's it. That is our Twin Otter flight. I do like flying the Twin Otter, but I don't know, there's something like it's not like 100%. It could be so much better. Like I love how fun it is and how much this plane likes to fly. That is really just like always fun. See, here's a sole issue, huh? Exit the aircraft and it's like floating on air. Yeah. It's pretty sure that's not what it's supposed to look like in real life. Fair enough. It's pretty good. It's a pretty nice looking airport, and they do fix it. It's been quite a few patches for it already with the SOD stuff. They just need a couple more. But I mean, it's a beautiful airport, beautiful setting. I don't think you can find a more beautiful setting anywhere in the world. They just need to fix it up a little bit. But anyway, that was our second leg, going from Narvik to Svolvær through Stokmarknes, and I hope you join me in the next one. Thank you.